Greetings from the Fortress of Solitude. It's your favorite retro vampire coming at you. Occasionally I'll get messages from folks asking, just some movies, music, makeup, whatever, just recommendations, and they'll recommend stuff to me, which is awesome. I love it. And more recently was about movies and TV shows, like what some of my favorite were. And I thought, let's do a little segment about one of my all-time favorite movies. Me and my sisters quote this regularly. It's ridiculous. We could probably act out the whole movie. It's crazy. So I'm gonna describe it, and let's see if y'all can guess what it is. I mean, I'll tell you at the end anyway. And I've mentioned it before because I think I've done a previous video about like things I like. So let's see if you can get it. So the 1900s. We're in Mexico. There's this town, right? And there's this bad El Chapo kind of guy, right? He's just bad. He's like, me and my boys, we're gonna mess you guys up. It's mess up time. And the people in this tiny village are like, oh no, what are we gonna do? They've got guns and tequila, and they're very loud and obnoxious. It was a bad time. Nobody was enjoying it, unless you were a bad guy, and then it was great. But if you weren't, it sucked. So this one chick, all right, she and her donkey and her little friend, they ride into the big city village, and they're like, we need help, what are we gonna do? They go to a bar, and the people at the bar are just jerks too. So they're like, this is hopeless. But then they go into the church, right? And there's a movie playing, a silent picture. They got talkies now, but this was before then. And they watch this movie, and it's these three guys, also in a small town, and these bad guys ride in and they save the day, and it's just, whoa, we need guys like these to come to our village. So they leave, and they're like, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna send a telegram to these people. So they go into the little communique office, like, hey, we need to send a back in time text. And the guy's like, no doubt. So they send a whole long message, but they don't have enough money. So he's like, tell you what, I'll give you the good value, the great value brand. So it was kind of, a little misleading, perhaps. They were offered money, but the original message didn't get sent. This is the SparkNotes version. So the guy sends the back in time text. Now, enter Hollywood, California. The three thespians in aforementioned movie, they go to their boss. They're like, yo boss, we want more money. And he's like, skirt that noise, you're out. Fires, and they end up on the street. They're like, something will turn up. And then they get handed a telegram at that very second, conveniently timed. They get the message. Oh, but what a zany set of events that unfolds, because they didn't quite know what the message meant, because again, it's the SparkNotes version, so they think they're being hired to go perform with this bad guy, who's actually an actor, because he's the infamous, not the infamous, the infamous, which means you're more than famous, quote unquote. So like, you know what, let's go steal our uniforms and gallop on down to Mexico. Which is what they do. So they're under the guise that, they're going to get paid all this money. They're going to put on some grand show because there's not a lot of entertainment going on. They just want a live show. They're big fans. Like, it's going to be great. So they get in there, right? It's crazy. They walk into town in their shiny suits. Then the lady meets up with them. There had been a shootout earlier. There's this German guy and his German friends. It's just nuts, right? So anyway, the girl picks him up, like, yeah, we're going to take you to town, village. Great. They ride a donkey and or a mule, pretty sure it was a donkey, down to the little tiny village. And everyone's like, oh, this is so great. The day is saved. And they're just like, man, these people need some entertainment. So then some of the bad guys show up. Not the main bad guy, but some of the bad guys. And they're all like, oh, there they are. Let's go put on a show. It's not as many as we thought, but hey, we're still getting paid, right? So they scare them out of town because they're all shooting and they're thinking it's just a show, right? They're using some of their movie lines. It's great. So those guys are like, oh, let's go tell the boss what's happening. Big celebration, much joy. Oh man, but the bad guys, they go to the main bad guy and they're like, boss, you are not going to believe what just happened. And he's like, spill the tea, my man. And they're like, so these guys, right, they ran us off and called us names, and now we're butthurt. So he's like, okay, well, we can't have that. So let's all suit up and go to this town, which is exactly what happens. So all of the dudes ride into town, right? And the three good guys are like, oh, well, here's the real show. Let's do this. So they get on their horses, and it's just, we're just shooting all these blanks into the air, and you guys, you know, you're bad dudes. And they're like, oh, boy, it's a pleasure working with you. And the bad guys are just like, get a load of this chump. But they're like, it's kind of entertaining. You know, let's just kill one of them. So the second in command bad guy, he shoots one of them, right? And everyone's like, oh, hey, time out, cut. So anyway, they're like, real blood? What's that all about? You're in a lot of trouble. But then it dawns on them. Hang on a second. This is real. They're going to kill us. That's a quote from the movie. Oh, there's been a terrible mix-up, Mr. Bad Guy. We're actors. We're not gunfighters. What a crazy thing that's happened. It's just a wacky mix-up. And you know what? The guy, he gets it. He's a chill dude. He's a murderer, but he's a chill dude. He's like, you know what? You're right. Get out of town. Go on. And I'm going to kill everybody else. I'm going to burn it down. Like, you're good. Go on. So they're like, oh, thank you. So they skip town. Then the town proceeds to be, you know, destroyed. Bombs, like dynamite. And just, they take the girl who had, like, texted him in the beginning. He's like, you're hot. Come with me. So they're all like, oh, we're going to get out of here. But, oh, we're going to come back. And now we've seen the destruction. And then, oh, what a change of heart. You know what? Back there in Hollywood, we're done. We're blacklisted. We are no more. But down here, we can be real heroes. All right? That's what's up, dog. So, like, you know what? This is insane, but let's do it. We're going to go save the girl. We're going to go kill the bad guy. It's going to be great. And that's exactly what they proceed to do. So, they got to go break into the fort, right? There's a party going on. The Germans showed up. He's got guns. I don't even know. He's flying a plane in, and there's a big party. It's a birthday party. They gotta just break in there, all right? One of them ends up stuck in the air to a piñata. One of them ends up in a closet. One of them, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I said I quote this on the daily, but anyway, they get into the fortress. They're like, oh, we gotta find the girl, which they do. Now we gotta knock out the bad guy, and it's just crazy. The other one, that's it. He ends up in like a dungeon, trapped to a wall. It's just nuts. So they all end up reconvening. You know, the one who was trapped in a closet who found the girl, he ends up down at the party disguised as one of them. And he's like, yeah, I'm one of you. I blend in totally. The other one's just watching from way up high. The other one's trying to bust out of the dungeon. But then the other guy falls to a table. This one's been caught because he obviously doesn't blend in. He's in Mexico. Okay, didn't work. Wasn't a good disguise. The other one shows up. He does get a gun, and he's like, you guys, you're in trouble. You better scram. We're going to take this girl, and you're done for. Now, granted, there's like 100 of them, and like 3 of them, and only 1 has a gun at the moment. Okay, yeah, ooh, you got us. But then the German's like, oh, hold on a second. I know this guy. He's like my favorite actor. Oh gosh, you better stop. Like, this is the wrong time to be taking autographs. But he's like, oh, you're my favorite actor, but I must challenge you to a duel. So then there's a shootout. You know, the actor guy wins. The German is now dead. Everybody's running for their guns. Oh, we gotta get out of here, gotta get out of here. They steal a plane. Here's a plane, guys. The German's plane. So they fly back to the little town, all right? The bad guys are behind him on their horses, like, we'll see you in a couple hours. So they arrive in town, like, oh, guys, I hate to tell you this, here's your daughter, but there's a horde of bad guys coming to kill all of us, so we need to do something about this. So what is it we can do? What does this town do? Like, we all need to come together. We can sew. That's the answer. They're good sewers, so we're going to pull a zany trick on these bad guys. The bad guys show up. You Where are you? Ooh, they're everywhere. The three good guys are everywhere. They're in every building. Oh, they've dug pits. It's crazy. So the bad guys are like, we're outnumbered. They're everywhere. We gotta go, even though there's still more of them and whatever. Turns out, you know how I said they were good sewers? They all made the same uniform very quickly with a lot of material they had laying around. Those guys, what a trick. Which is what he said, that was a good trick. They end up killing the bad guy, just shooting him dead. Yay, we saved the day. You know what? This is great. And the townsfolk are like, yo, here's all the money we got. Just like in the Back in Time text. This is all we can give you. But at this time, they've had a change of heart. And they are truly like their movie characters. And they give the money back. And they're like, our reward is that this sucker's dead. You guys are all right. We got the girl. That's what's up. It's just like the ending of their movie. Then they ride off into the sunset, having saved the day. The Three Amigos.